You want some massive profits? Then maximize your productivity. Come on, I'll show you how. Hey there friends, what's good? It's Jason Ligo here again with Always Enterprise. And in this video, I want to share with you how you can maximize your productivity to help you gain massive profits. That's right, we're talking about maximizing productivity for massive profits. Obviously in business, the name of the game is to make money. Yes, you want to make an impact, but you need to make money, okay? If you're in business, it's all about making profits. It's about stacking your profits and padding your bank account, thereby increasing your reach and the impact that you can have. It all comes down to making money. With that said, it also is established, at least in my mind it certainly is, that the amount of money that you can make and the amount of profit that you can generate is in direct correlation to how productive you can be. With that said, however, it seems like the trap that most people fall into is not realizing the difference between truly being productive as opposed to just being busy. With that said, in this video, I want to talk to you about 4 very specific but practical ways that you can increase and maximize your productivity, thereby allowing you to hopefully make more profits. Let's get started. Number 1, avoid the trap of multitasking. Avoid the trap of multitasking. Now, whether you're in business for any amount of time, whether it's a short amount of time or a long amount of time, or maybe you're just getting started, maybe you're still working in the corporate sector, a regular job, you might think that multitasking is actually a good quality and it's something that is good and positive, as opposed to thinking of it as a trap. I, however, contend that it is absolutely a trap and something to be avoided at all costs. It seems like if you're working a job one day, I remember even when I was in corporate America, it seemed that whether you had a really good education or low education or a really impressive background work history or not, no matter what it looked like, as long as you could say that you had the ability to multitask, it seems like that was the redeeming quality. And I'm telling you that unfortunately, that's just not the case in the world of business. I think that you definitely want to have composure and you want to be able to have a good head on your shoulders when it comes to engaging and entering the storm of business. However, with that said, it's almost like, you need to have singularity of focus in order to be truly effective. And so I would caution you about this idea of multitasking. Instead, I would encourage you to focus on doing one thing at a time and thereby increasing your chances of full completion and getting something done. The way that I would liken this to, if I were to give you a real world illustration, would be to think about circuses back in the day. All right, I don't know if you still enjoy going to circuses, and if you can think about the pre-pandemic world when we could do more things in public and go to circuses and live shows. One of my favorite acts was always the one of the plate spinner. All right, there was this guy who would have these sticks and he'd be spinning a million different plates, it seems like, right? Several different plates spinning in midair. And I got to tell you, how do you think he got that way? Do you think he got that way? He got to that spot by throwing up 5 or 6 different plates and catching them simultaneously, spinning the sticks all at once? Absolutely not, right? The fact is, if you think about it, that's actually kind of ridiculous and impractical to think, right? Yet that's exactly how most people attack their day. That's exactly how most people attack their work day, in trying to juggle a million different things all at once. But that's not how the plate spinner does it. What he does is he starts with one plate and gets it spinning. Then he starts another, then he starts another. And before you know it, he's got several different plates spinning all at the same time. And it's a beautiful spectacle to behold. The same is true in your business. You've got to tackle things one thing at a time, see them through to completion, see them through to the satisfactory level of success, at which point it's okay to move on to the next thing. But unless and until, do not multitask. Number 2, learn to say no. Learn to say no. Now, I'm not talking to you about being a jerk, and I'm certainly not talking to you about pre-programming your mind to negativity and blocking manifestation power or all this cool mindset stuff. I'm not talking about that at all. What I am referring to is you simply being able to set boundaries, and saying no is a great and easy way to do so. Even if it's not the direct words no. It could be something like saying next time, or I'll catch you later, or give me a rain check. The idea here behind it is simply that there are things that you should not allow yourself to engage in. There are people you shouldn't allow yourself to be around for extended periods of time. There's certain activities that you shouldn't find yourself doing because it wastes time. I'll let you decide what these things are, but just just know that saying no is a great way for you to maximize your productivity, because it limits the things that will deteriorate your mindset. It limits the things that will distract you from your business. And ultimately, it's just one of those things that will help you, again, set good guidelines. So again, think about what these things are for you. Perhaps it's certain people that you just maybe need to limit the time that you're hanging around, especially if you're building a business in the home business space. How often have we heard of a family member or a friend who, through all good intentions, just were continued to be negative to us, who even degraded us and insulted us from the auspices of be careful, that's a scam, things like that. When in truth is, they're not in your shoes. You're building a business. You have a mission. I encourage you to stay away from those folks for at least significant amounts of time, right? Love them from a distance and in small doses, but also time-wasting activities, okay? Obviously, I'm a dad and I have kids, and so I want to spend time with them and hang out with them and play and have fun with them. But aside from those times where I'm actually enjoying times with them, I'll be honest, I don't spend a whole lot of time playing video games. I don't even spend a whole lot of time binging on things like Netflix and just, getting caught up on TV shows. It's just not my thing. I'm not necessarily judging you if that's your thing. I just need you to understand that, again, if those things are sucking up time, valuable time, keeping you from being productive and moving your business forward, then maybe it's a good idea to start saying no. Number 3, don't fall victim to interruptions. Don't fall victim to interruptions. Now, if you've watched me for any amount of time, you know that I'm a big believer in working in small bursts to achieve maximum productivity. The fact is, this method is well documented and well received all over the internet and all over professional worlds, really. But no matter what technique you're using, even if you are using the smaller burst method, what is called the Pomodoro technique or the tomato timer method, whatever you want to call it, none of that matters if you fall victim to interruptions. None of that matters if if you're working a small batch of time, a focused time, but you're still being interrupted and still being distracted, then it really doesn't matter what method of productivity you're using. So it's up to you to get in front of and prevent and preempt whatever these interruptions may be. One of the most common is that of your cell phone. It's a very powerful device, but unfortunately it's a two-edged sword. It's a very powerful device for being able to communicate and access information and get things done and reach out to people, but it's also a double-edged sword in that it could act negatively against you when it runs your life. And it's one of those things where if the notification goes off, you find yourself pre-programmed, and almost as a slave, you seem compelled to answer it immediately, when the truth is you really don't need to do that. So learning to do simple things like put it into airplane mode, or better yet, to turn it off for the amount of time that you're working is going to be a great practice and beneficial for you. The other thing that you can do is that if you're working on your computer, one of the best things that you can do is to turn off your messaging system, or at least to set it to do not disturb, whether it's Facebook Messenger or Skype or Slack or whatever the case is. Learn to set boundaries for yourself. Learn to put up protections and walls as well as boundaries that allow for you to communicate with people when you need to, but ultimately it keeps you from being so accessible to everybody else. And then on top of that, it goes without saying, make sure that you just go ahead and close out all manner of possible distractions. This includes your Facebook, this includes your YouTube channel, this includes any other streaming, Netflix or whatever it is that is up there that could capture your attention and take you away from the task at hand. Don't fall victim to interruptions. Number 4, and finally, identify where your genius lives. Identify where your genius lives. When I say that, I'm referring to a specific where, when, or scenario in which your genius comes out. Where is it that, and everyone has this, by the way, but where is it where you're most effective? Where is it where you're the most creative of your ideas comes to the surface? Where is it where most of your, where you just find yourself in the workflow, in that state, right? In that flow, in the groove, as it were. This happens for everyone, and it's up to you to determine where that is. For some people, it's in the shower, right? Some of your best and most creative ideas and most productive, principles come to your mind when you're in the shower. Maybe it's something about being confident because you're standing there naked and singing with water and energy on you. I don't know what it is. For some people, it's after a good workout, right? So maybe it's not a where, it's a when, right? And some people, it's after a workout. They feel themselves releasing the endorphins and the toxins, and therefore they're now in a great state of moving meditation. For some people, they're in a great mood after a visit with grandma. Or for some people, they're the most effective when they get up super early, even if they don't want to get up early, even if they're not morning people. Getting up 2 or 3 hours ahead of time before the kids wake up, before the normal day begins, enjoying the silence and the quiet is very conducive to them finding their genius and becoming most productive, most creative, and really just the most effective that they can be as an entrepreneur. Whatever it is for you, I encourage you to really dial it in, observe it, identify it, and then milk it for all it's worth. Find out where your genius lives, where, when, what scenario, with whom it is, and make it happen from there. All right, my friends, that's it. Hopefully you found this helpful. These are 4 great tips to help you maximize your productivity so that you can also enjoy massive profits. If you like this, please give me a like, a comment, a share, but most importantly, you know what to do. Subscribe. Also hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any more hot new content that I got coming down the pipe just for you. This is Jason Ligo with Always Enterprise. I'll see you next time. Take care.